update on Joel?
Yes, he's in the trainer's room laying on the table.
Don't do it as soon as I said it. How much he's been able to do and how he's feeling?
We'll find out at 3 o'clock. We haven't practiced this week. They came in, we gave Monday off, came in, and all of them didn't even come in at all. But Tuesday we brought them in for 45 minutes of running and shooting. And Wednesday brought them in for 45 minutes of running and shooting. And today at 3 o'clock will be the first practice we've had since the Tennessee game, and the 3 days before the Tennessee game, we had one full practice too. So, but I haven't seen him, but he did do the running and shooting. My goal is he's on the practice plan today. He's not out, and he's not. He is limited in my category. I think that's where I've got him, but I do have him on the practice plan today.
How optimistic are you to be able to?
Yeah, he's limited today. I'm not optimistic at all, but I'm not pessimistic. I haven't seen him. I mean, I have no opinion. I haven't seen him. He's since it was just running and shooting, I never miss anything where we practice. And I had a conversation with him on Saturday before the Sunday game, and he said he was feeling better. And I talked to him for 30 seconds before the running and shooting on Monday. I've been in 8 states in the last 7 days, and I haven't seen him, so I have no opinion.
You have seen what this team is like without him.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Obviously, one of the better players, but
yeah.
what specifically do you think this unit misses without him?
Well, let me turn it around even the other way and see if that helps you, because I'd hoped that Nate in 7th with the extra minutes would play well and get even more confidence. And I think neither one of them would tell you they were really excited about the way they played. And so Joel was averaging whatever, 17, 16 or something like that, shooting 50% and 45%. We haven't done that. So that's what we've missed, plus defensively, even though I will say this, Nate was big in the Tennessee game with those steals that he came up for. But so I'm hoping it still helped those two guys because of the extra minutes, and hoping that now they'll know even a little bit more about what's going on, and that they will help us. But I'm hopeful that Joel will be able to pick back up at the level where he was, and his play was at a higher level than what we've had the last 2 games.
Is Nate, the shooting, you've obviously mentioned he needs to make more, but the rest of the 4 game, have you been okay with what he's done, like steals and assists and the way he's run the offense? Steals,
very much so. Like I say, he was one of the 2 or 3 biggest factors in us winning the game against Tennessee. The assists have been okay, but your turnovers need to be down, and that's if you want to be a point guard that can help your team stay in front of the basketball and don't turn it over. And then anything positive you do after that is really good. And so those are the couple of things that we've turned it over too much from that position, and not stayed in front of the basketball on the defensive end. But I've chastised them a little bit, and also, but in the back of my mind, what I said the last thing there is I'm hoping that they understand it even more now, and that they will still gain some positive things about it. It's just that it hasn't shown up in the games. That guy gets out there and quarterback and takes 1 snap and misses 5 games. I don't know how a coach decides if he's getting better. But even if you screw it up, you got to learn some things. And I think, and I'm hoping that that's what those guys have done. 7th line, 8 minutes, 8 points, that's good. But 3 turnovers is not good, because 5 times 8 is 40. If you played the 40 minutes, that'd be 15 turnovers. That's not real good. And staying in front of the ball and don't turn it over, you can be okay.
Kentucky obviously likes to run and get up and down the court. You guys like to do that as well. Looking at them, evaluating them, how fast are they when they get up and out?
I have looked at them a little bit, but I've got the computer that's going with me on the plane. I will go back and say it again. I don't really concentrate on the other team till the day before, and so I haven't watched any of their games more than 3 or 4 minutes. But I did get some. Been reading the stats. They take a shot every 13.5 or 6 seconds. That's second fastest in the country, and I know we don't take it that fast, but I'd like to. I'd like to take it faster than that. But they're extremely athletic. They go up and down the court. They're averaging the 2nd most points of anybody in the country at 94, I think I saw. Yeah, 94.4. But we want to play at a fast pace too. I think I'd really screw up everybody if I say we're going to start in the four corners and slow it down.
Let me interrupt with a question that goes along. This is from Jerry Tippin in Lexington. He said, Coach, how do you balance your strengths if one of your strengths is also a strength of Kentucky, who likes to play an up-tempo game? Do you have to change one of your strengths, or does that send a bad message to your team?
Well, it could conceivably send a bad message. I think that all drop dead if I started in a delay game, you know, so it'd be bad for their 5 players to still be alive and my 5 to be dead. But so I really don't think that's going to happen. But what we have to do for sure is run back better on the defensive end to make sure that we get our defensive transition set. And a lot of people say you should run a running team. Well, most of the time I really like that, but I guess wait until after those 40 minutes are up on Saturday and I'll tell you if I really liked it. But, yeah, I think I'd shock everybody if I went out there and held it and played zone. Maybe I should do that.
Coach, it's still real early in the season, but am I a bad journalist if I say you're probably not going to get that senior leadership from Kennedy and Isaiah, but you're okay because in this day and age you got some strong and experienced juniors who can be your leaders?
I don't know enough about what is a good or a bad journalist, John, to make that evaluation, but I think it's a very good, sound philosophy there. You know, guys can be great leaders, but if you really want to be that high-level leader, you got to produce. You know, I mean, that's David Noel went from 3.9 to the leading scorer and being the greatest leader. Marcus Page backed it up. Isaiah, Nate, and Kennedy haven't shown those numbers yet, but I'll tell you this, they're still good leaders, and I really believe that because they're such good kids, they really care. But, yeah, you're right. Leadership comes from success also, and whether it's Joel or Justin or a combination of both of those guys, and what I think they're doing, and part of it's sort of encouraged by me. I think they're helping with the leadership aspect of it. But no, you know, you got to back up what you're saying. You got to back it up with actions to be the top level. You know, I still think somebody can be a good leader and maybe not even get off the bench if he's always looking out for the team. But if you're going to play well, I think if you're going to play, I think you need to play well.
And just to piggyback on that, would you consider yourself fortunate in this day and age to have those experienced juniors?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so, because it's a really talented group. I mean, I'd like to have Theo back and have all 3 of them. But the leadership, and as you said, it's still really early in the season. And other than Indiana, you know, we really haven't faced very much adversity. And I think that's when you really find out a heck of a lot more.
You mentioned Theo. Kind of how's he progressing since the last evaluation?
Oh, he went by me 6 feet yesterday and jogged for 6 feet and then stopped and turned around and grinned like I'm supposed to get excited about that. I don't know about him. Yeah, and then I asked Doug about it. He said he did what? He's not supposed to be jogging. But I think early next week, they're going to take the CT scan, which has always been the second step after the x-rays, and see if that shows more healing. And then at that time, they'll make a decision whether, okay, we need to wait another week or you can start him in some basketball activities or not. But I think that's early next week.
Well, Isaiah did a pretty good job early in the year of limiting his fouls, and that's become maybe more of a problematic point for him again recently. What do you think has changed, if anything?
Part of it's a little bit of bad luck. I mean, guy's falling out of bounds on the baseline, and he's closest to him, and he breathed on him, and they call a foul. So, you know, it's a little bit of it's bad luck. But he's got to focus and don't make a silly foul. You know, if you've got your hand wrapped around a guy's waist, that's pretty easy for an official to call. He's usually standing 6 or 8 feet underneath the basket, and he had one of those in the last game too. But I've told him, even said something to him earlier today. I saw him in the office earlier today and said something about, okay, got to turn over a new leaf again and stay out of foul trouble.
What do you want to see from him in terms of him taking that next step, just overall, you know, as a scorer, rebounder?
Rebound to basketball's got to be the number one thing. I mean, we got to have guys go get the rebound. Scoring will be good if it's a high percentage, but he's got to lose himself in the game a little bit. You know, sometimes seniors start listening to people and they're saying you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, and all I need Isaiah to do is do the same daggum thing he did last year, except he's going to have more opportunities because he's playing more minutes. I don't need him to do anything else. I don't need him to play the point guard. I don't need him to shoot threes. I don't need him to help me decide on who substitutes. Just do the same daggum thing he did last year and do it a little bit better. And he's had a couple of games where he did, but the last 2 games of foul trouble has really, really bothered him.
Roy, you mentioned lack of preparation after the Davidson game. A couple of your players kind of reiterated that after Tennessee. What would you like to see different in that approach to those games?
The Tennessee game, it's hard around here. We've been spending a lot of time studying. I haven't. I got my degree. I'm not taking any more courses. Done, over, never going to happen. But we spend a lot of time. I've got some guys that had exams this afternoon. They're finishing. I don't know if they're going to get to practice on time today. I think we have, you two guys wouldn't know, I think we have 4 guys who are taking an exam. It's supposed to be over with at 3 o'clock. So the preparation has really been hard. But other schools are going through exams also. And I don't know when Kentucky's were. I don't know when Tennessee's were. I think Tennessee's was at a different time period than us. But it's been difficult to get the preparation like we'd like to have.
So it doesn't sound like that's a major concern for you moving forward then?
No. You just got to get your work done, make your A's. We're really studying really hard because we're not studying the scouting report, so we must be studying something really hard. I can't wait to get all these grades. You got something in your mind. I can see the wheels turning, or the hamster's turning in there.
Very slow turn. I was just curious, what do you feel like the program in this day and age gets out of playing like neutral site games like these in Vegas and moving around?
Yeah. I think college basketball is still growing, still doing some things. Everybody say, well, attendance is down or ratings are down, but I love playing in these events. I really do. It just ticks me off that somebody goes from 16 to 18, 18 to 20 of the conference games and still expects you to do those kind of things. And, there'll be a time and a place for me to make my feelings known about that. But I did ask, and it's common sense to me. I did ask, I said, you'd rather have North Carolina, Kentucky, or you'd rather have North Carolina and somebody at the bottom of the league that's really struggling? And they said, North Carolina and Kentucky. I said, I'm not going to play that every day. It's just you got to have some time to improve and get some confidence. But we have agreed to go ahead and do this 3 more years. I like the idea. I think it's good. But when you go from 16 to 18 and then you go to 20, I don't like it that much anymore. And so I think you have to decide how much of a balance you want to have.
What's your level of interest in renewing the regular season series against Kentucky outside of this particular event?
I hadn't thought about it, won't think about it. I'm serious, guys. Our business office, what do they want me to do? Make money. So we need to play home games. So with all this junk of going to 20 games, I may play one exempt event and we'll play half of you on one night and then half of you guys on the other night and try to see. I may miss this a little bit, but not much. Last year or the year before, we played 16 home games, and 2 or 3 teams in the league played 20 and 21. I know of an AD that went into a friend of mine and said, I need you to play 20, 21 home games. We need the money. So, no, I haven't thought about it, won't think about it.
You missed that. Obviously you're playing them Saturday and you will again in a couple of years, but you missed that regular season rivalry against those guys.
I miss it, yeah, but we're getting into a different age too. I enjoyed that, but I also enjoyed round-robin league play.
Another question from Jerry in Lexington. Coach, why specifically is this a good rebounding team? And then in general, why are your teams traditionally good rebounding teams?
Well, and Jerry's probably heard me say this before, I've always thought rebounding was a crucial, if not the most important factor in the game. It was a very crucial factor of the game. And so we have Isaiah and Kennedy and Tony, big guys that they know we need to rebound. We emphasize our guards rebounding, our perimeter wing guys rebounding. So I did have, and you've heard me say this, Steve, I don't know if anybody else has, one prospect came in and told me, says, I didn't realize there were 11 commandments because the 11th one is thou shalt box out. And so I've always pushed that fact part of the game extremely hard and always will. But you get the ball and I get the ball. You get the ball and I get the ball. The only way for me to get more opportunities than you is to get more rebounds and to stop you from getting more rebounds. And so I think that's the reason we really emphasize it.
A lot of talk about the pace of the game. What role will your post players play? An advantage you guys have, 2 guys shooting over 60%.
Well, you know, their guys, let's see, their guys aren't shooting it bad. They're shooting 48.5, and we're shooting 48.4 as a team. But we're going to run, guys. I mean, again, nobody would really care, but it would shock all my friends if I went out and didn't do that. But we got to run. We got to get our big guys to run. But you know, Bam's got 18. I think it was 18 blocks. I looked at it. We have nobody in double figures blocks. You know, so you got, if you're going to take it inside, you got to take it inside strong. You can't be pump faking, and let him knock it in the third row. You got to pump fake once and take it right at a shot blocker's face. And but no, it's, you know, all those guys. I'm not against the way John builds his team. I recruited most of those guys he recruited. We just didn't get them. I mean, I thought De'Aaron Fox was sensational. I thought Malik Monk. He put on one night. I saw him as good a show as I've ever seen anybody play. And I went to see Bam 7 times his sophomore and junior year in high school. So we like those guys too. But it should be an up and down game, and we've got to be able to not just shoot it inside. We've got to be able to make some of them inside.
Has there ever been a game that you've approached where you've said to your guys, let's, you know, pump the brakes a bit and not run as much as the other team is going to try to run? Can you ever recall going that route?
No. Never. Well, no, it's a lie. When I was a JV coach here, I got 3 6'3" guys on the front line. We were playing Fork Union. They got Melvin Turpin and David Wade at 6'11", 6'5". Hell yeah, I said, we're going to slow that one. There wasn't even a shot clock. No, coaching at Kansas, North Carolina, I've never told anybody we're going to walk it down. I've told you guys this. You got to understand that ain't going to change. If you see me walking it down and holding to the last second, then I saw something I should not have seen. And they've got me in a witness to protection program somewhere, and it's somebody else coaching that team. It ain't me.
Roy.
That's the only way, guys. I'm telling you. So if we go out there and we walk the daggum thing up the court, you'll say, God, wonder where they've got him stashed.
How would you grade?
Hell, I had a guy that got a rebound the other day with 9 seconds left on the daggum game clock and shot the damn thing.
How would you grade
Press
your?
conference disintegrating again.
Let that one go.
That's right.
How would you grade your backcourt's ability this year to stop the dribble drive?
Getting better, but it's easier if Joel's one of those guys, and we work on it an awful lot. But I think last year we struggled early, and I thought we got much better at it late, and we spent a lot of time on it. But I think De'Aaron Fox has got a gear that most people don't have, and Malik can come at you so hard and stop on a dime. I mean, Augusta, Georgia, and the Peach Jam 2 years ago, it's as good a show as I've ever seen. He makes you sit over and slobber trying to figure out if you can get him on your team.
I got an off-topic one for you.
So is the rest of the press
There
conference.
you go. Have you followed what's going on at Wake Forest with the football league?
I've been told about it, but I mean, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard about in my life. I just can't imagine somebody doing something like that. So that's it.
We hear coaches talk about getting any way you can get an edge or whatever, all these things that make all these stories that don't make it a print. Have you ever heard of anything comparable to something like that?
No. Somebody asked me what I would do, and I said, I don't know. I've never even, thought about it. I don't eat spaghetti for breakfast. I've never thought about it. What do you mean what I think about it? But that's mind-boggling. I would probably call the coach and say, you realize what one of your guys are doing? I probably would.
Well, I didn't mean to ask you for a couple of days about Dexter Strickland changed his name. He's now Baden Jackson. I'm not sure if you were aware of that. If so, when did you hear about it? Kind of what was...
Somebody told me about it, and then Dexter called and said, Coach, this is Dexter. I said, Baden, I don't know if you know I changed my name. And I said, yeah, I heard about it.
That's it.
That's it.
Anybody else?
Piggybacking off of the Wake Forest situation, I'm just curious.
I'm glad you didn't piggyback on that one. I don't know.
Related to basketball, where's the Like, if you were playing a Big Ten team in a tournament, would you give Mark Turgeon a call? Like, I know you've played these guys this season. You know, is there like some kind of ethical line that you wouldn't cross in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
this
You know,
asking
all
for-
conferences have some kind of policy, or I shouldn't say all or policy. You know, they how about not exchanging film, you know, and those kind of things. And we have those. But I was in a meeting one time. I said, "Hey guys, I'm telling you, Jerry Green, Dean Smith, they call me. I'm gonna tell them. I don't care if I'm in your conference or not. They're my best friends in the whole wide world." But no, I think you go past. That's a whole different ballgame. And we had a school this year would exchange tape with us. You know, and all games are on TV. We can get them. Why don't you just send a damn thing to us? You know, we could get them. But no, I just can't. That's so far out of my character. I mean, I have a hard time. I mean, I haven't looked into it anymore because I think it's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard of. I mean, because no, I should stop right there. That's better. I'll stop right there.